Hey guys, it's Willy Simons with Willy MX. We're out at one of the oldest tracks in SoCal, Perris Raceway, burning some premix on the 2022 KTM 125SX. Not too many changes this year from last year's model. Obviously more cosmetics with the bright new orange frame, new graphics, new seat color. Bigger changes pretty much got carried over from last year. KTM switched over to the WP exact forks and shock, just like how they have on their four-stroke models. That was a pretty big change from last year that got carried over. And then some low friction seals in the linkage bearing. And other than that, not too much besides some durability stuff in the engine. Still a super fun bike to ride. I haven't ridden a 125 in a few months, so it's nice to hop on that. Comparing this 125 to other manufacturers, I've ridden Yamahas myself a lot. Hopping on this thing was a real joy, getting to ride something that's pretty high up in power. Each bike is a little bit different as far as how they handle power, but the KTM has a really high mid-range stroke that carries over, and man, you can just scream this thing. So suspension-wise, I started just with the stock bar pressure. It was about 8.2, and it's pretty soft. Even for someone like me, I'm about 135 pounds, so I didn't mess with it too much today, but stock is pretty soft, I think, for the general 125 rider, somewhere between my weight and a little bit higher. I think it's even pretty soft there. So I just kept it up the stock pressure and turned up the clickers a little bit on the compression, and it was okay. So no major complaints on that, but I think if anyone that's going to ride this bike full time from track to track, I would definitely bump the pressure up to about probably 8.6, maybe even 9, depending on how fast, conditions, stuff like that. So right off the bat though, great brakes. Obviously the Brembo brakes, for years have had the high reputation of being really good in this industry. So no complaints there. I wouldn't even really feel the need to maybe put a different manufacturer brake system on this model, like maybe some of the other manufacturers. So great brakes, great ergonomics. As far as the bars and the rider cockpit, I think they did a good job on keeping everything compact. So motor-wise on this model though, the power for me is all in the mid, which on a 125 you got to be riding it on the pipe anyway. So yeah, the motor carries out. You feel everything in the mid range, and then it carries out to the top where it won't fall off. Some 125s that I've ridden in the past have a tendency to kind of fall on their face once they get on the top. Super high mid-range on this model, and yeah, I was having a bunch of fun just teaching myself how to ride a 125 again, screaming this thing. One thing too on these two strokes, nowadays the pump gas being what it is, we were having some detonation issues running the 40-to-1 Motor-X premix with just regular 91 pump gas, and we were having some detonation issues. It's pretty hot today out at Perris. It's about in the 90s, so we were having the bike detonate a little bit. I think this thing would run really crisp if this is going to be an everyday ride bike for someone. I would definitely put some good VP or whatever you can get to kind of keep the engine a little bit cooler, but other than that, no complaints on the motor and how it ran. Jetted really clean, everything straight from the factory is totally fine. So running some good fuel in one of these would not only help it power-wise, but just help it run a little cleaner, keep it cool, especially in these hot summer days. Had a lot of fun on the 22. KTM 125 out here at Perris. Was really enjoying riding a 125 again, and although not major changes from last year besides some durability stuff and cosmetics, KTM hit it out of the park with another great model and another model for people to ride and come by at your local track. So thank you to those guys, thank you to Fox, and thank you to Vital.